Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So recently the interim budget was announced on February 1st, 2024, and it was an interim budget because 2024 is the election year. So the Lok Sabha elections will be held in the upcoming months, which is April or May, and the full budget will be announced later this year in the month of July. So in today's video, we'll be discussing about 5 key sectors that were in discussion in the budget and will play a crucial role in the upcoming months. So let's get into it. So the first sector that I want to discuss about is the railway sector. So in the budget, it was mentioned that 40,000 normal rail bogies will be converted to Vande Bharat standards, and 2.55 lakh crores has been assigned to the Ministry of Railways itself. Now, the first stock which plays a crucial role in this sector is the Indian Railway Finance Corporation Limited. The stock PE is 34.6, which is not that high, and it is a fundamentally good stock because if we look at the profits and the sales, we don't see any red flag in this. Moreover, it will be beneficial if we look at the peers of this particular stock, and I've not done fundamental analysis of all the stock, but this sector can play a crucial role in the upcoming months, and we can do fundamental analysis of all these stocks while making our investment decisions. Now, the second sector that I wanted to talk is the renewable energy sector. So the government has announced several schemes to turn net zero by 2070. And if we look at the energy department of India, so around 50% of the electricity generated in India comes through the coal, which is a renewable source of energy. And by 2070, it is said that it will be turned to net zero. Now, if we look at this particular point, the government has announced several schemes to turn it net zero by 2070, which has a long time to go. Now, it is a positive point because this shows the long-term vision of the government. But if we look at this point by the investment perspective, we cannot see a major change in the next few years, but it will take time, and the stocks or the sectors in this stocks will gradually increase. We cannot see a sudden jump in these particular stocks. So the stocks in this sector which I want to highlight is, so the first is the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, or IREDA, which was IPO'd recently in the month of November 2023. But one thing to note about this is the price to earning ratio is quite high. But if we look at the peers, here is the IREDA, which is trading at 63.66 PE ratio, which is quite high. But if we look at two of its peers, which is the RSE and the PFC, these are trading at a quite reasonable PE ratios. So the market cap of IREDA is significantly lower than the market cap of these other two companies. Now, if we look at the growth perspective, it is highly unfavorable with IREDA, but if we look at the valuations perspective, it seems that IREDA is currently highly valued. Now, we can go deeper into these stocks and we can have a fundamental analysis, but this is not the agenda of the video. We can talk about these stocks fundamentally in some other video. So now coming down to next sector, which is the infrastructure sector. So in this year, the government has announced an increase of 11.1% in the capital expenditure, or capex, which was 10 lakh crores in the previous fiscal year. Now, if we look at the trend of capex, we can see that it has been a major highlighted sector in the budget, because if we look from 2020-21, it was 4.1 lakh crores to 10 lakh crores in 2023-2024, which is now again increased by 11.1%. Now, this expenditure is good expenditures because all the expenditure that has been done under this will be on the infrastructure development, beach, road, bridges, etc. Now, these kind of expenditure is good for the economy because it creates employment opportunities for the people. Moreover, if the infrastructure is good, it also attracts foreign institutional investors to actually invest in India. Now, these are some of the best infrastructure stocks in India that we can invest in. Now, we won't go fundamentally in each of the stock, but we can see the 5-year returns, out of which Larsen and Turbo and the HFCL shares has been doing very good for the last 5 years with reasonable PE ratios as well. Okay, so coming down to the fourth sector, which is the Ministry of Defense. So 6.2 lakh crores has been announced to be allocated to the Ministry of Defense. One point to take into consideration is that most of the sum will be invested in the technology and the EV space. Now, coming to the EV sector, government has not explicitly mentioned the numbers, but it is expected in the full budget that government will be talking about the EV sector. But if we look at the Ministry of Defense with the focus in technology, we can talk about the two main stocks, which are the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and the Bharat Electronics Limited, which are large cap stocks. And I believe these are the stocks that will be mostly benefited by this government decision. Now, coming to the fifth and the last sector that we'll be discussing in this video is the tourism sector. Now, if you look at the tourism sectors, a lot of points has been made. One of the crucial point is that the tourism sector will be not only the responsibility of center, but will be a joint venture between the center and the state government. So the states are encouraged to undertake the development of the tourist centers, which will attract business and the opportunities and the investments from the local and the foreign investors. Second, the long-term investor loans are also provided, and the projects for port connectivity and the tourism infrastructure will be taken care of, including Lakshadweep, which has been a highlighted concern in the recent days. Now, because of this tourism sector being in focus, we can talk about hotels, which is the sector which will be benefited by this, or the aircraft, railway stocks, which will be benefited by these. But if we look at the hotels stocks, we can see the Lemon Tree Hotels, about which I've talked in details in my previous videos, ITDC, Mahindra Holiday, all of these are trading at a high PE valuations. Now, the tourism industry is benefited from the budget that has been announced. But if we look at the hotel industry specifically, the stocks are at crazy valuations, and we can invest in some of the fundamentally good stocks. But if we look at the industry in general, it is a little bit highly valued. But if we look at the aviation industry, we have a major announcement in this, which is that around 200 aircrafts are likely to be grounded by March. Now, if we look at the overall sector, we have around 790 aircrafts, of which 588 aircrafts are likely to be operational in the end. Now, because of this, high demand and less supply will result in the skyrocketing of the price of the air travel, but it can be beneficial for the air transportation companies. So here are the few airlines and the transport companies which can play a crucial role in the upcoming months. Okay, so these were the 5 sectors which were in the main focus in the interim budget of 2024. Moreover, this gives us a glimpse of the plans of the government in the future. Now, if the same government is elected after the elections, it's highly likely that in the full budget, same sectors will be discussed, but with some major updates. So yeah, that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.